Well, hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Retire Inspired on my live stream. I hope you all are doing well tonight. I am doing pretty good. It was a decent Sunday. Hope you all got to go to church this morning. If you did, be sure and shout out your church. Um, Yesterday I went thrifting. There wasn't too many yard sales in the area because of the weather. It was a little bit cold and a little bit rainy over the weekend, so we didn't have too many yard sales. Hey, Marty, welcome. Hope you're doing well tonight. Good to see you on here. Um, but we didn't have too many yard sales this weekend, so I just kind of went out and went thrifting. ACG anime fan, how are you doing tonight? Good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well. And welcome, Gumball Gold. Like number one, hotty toddy, everyone. Hope you're doing well. Gumball Gold, good to see you on here. Well, tonight I thought I would give you an update on the store, the eBay store, and see how my part-time side hustle has been doing so far. We're almost through with the year. We got 2 more weeks, 2 more weeks in 2024, and then the year will be over. And so I've already broken my record from last year as far as my sales went. I think I had like around 42,000, 44,000, somewhere around there in sales. CG Anime Fan says he had a cold for a while. And I hope you're doing better, CG. Hope your cold is gone completely. But I wanted to show you a couple of before we got started with my eBay store, I wanted to show you a couple of the vintage hats I picked up at this one particular yard sale. It wasn't really a yard sale, it was more like a thrift store that just kind of opens whenever they feel like it. in like a shed that someone owned on their private property that they just opened up and sold stuff out of it. But I got a bunch of vintage hats at this particular sale. And here is one for Alan Jackson's Show Car Cafe. I've never heard of it, but apparently it's in Tennessee around the Pigeon Forge area because it says Pigeon Forge, Tennessee on the cap. So it does have a little bit of dirtiness on the inside of the cap, but not too bad. And this is a vintage ball cap. So I thought that was pretty good. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to be listing those for. But the person that I picked these up from was apparently an Alabama fan. Here is a Blazers hat. I'm not sure what the Blazers are, if they're a hockey team or it says UFC, I believe, on it. So that's probably a hockey team, I'm assuming. Hey, Todd, welcome. So Todd says that they are listening and packing eBay. So they've gotten a lot of sales Rat Stash has. That's Todd Jones. He is half of Rat Stash, and Renee is the other half. So welcome. Glad you made it on here tonight. Good to see you. Here's another vintage hat. This is a Alabama hat, Bama football, and it's a black hat. None of these hats are in particularly good condition, but this one appears to be an officially sanctioned Alabama hat. 12-time national champs. Of course, they've gotten a few more since then. But this is the Alabama hat. And here's I think this is probably the best one out of the whole bunch. This is a Briggs and Stratton. A lot of times these hats with advertisement on them do pretty well, but this is a Briggs and Stratton hat. And if anyone cuts grass on a regular basis, you know what Briggs and Stratton are. They make the small engines for the most of the mowers. And this is a snapback, one size fits all, but you can see it's a little yellowed around the bill. And here is another Alabama hat. This is apparently one of the times when Alabama beat Auburn. Alabama 28, Auburn 17. This is a snapback as well. So these will be getting listed here pretty soon. Here is one for firefighters, Montgomery, Alabama. So this is a Montgomery, Alabama firefighter hat, baseball cap. And here is a B&C packaging and janitorial supply. And this one's got the mesh in the back. And out of all of them, this is probably one of the cleaner hats. So B&C Packaging and Supply. I'm assuming that was a packaging and supply company that was here in the area. Here is another Alabama hat. This one has Alabama beating Florida 34-7 at the SEC 1989 champions, SEC champions for 1989. So this one has a little bit of condition issues. It's got some spots here on the bottom of the bill. Maybe that won't keep it from selling. Here is one. This one might get taken down. I'm gonna list it anyway. This is an old Dixie, the closest thing to heaven hat, and it's got the mesh in the back, and it's also got the styrofoam kind of stuff on the inside here. So those are some hats I picked up. I got all of these hats for $5, so I got them for 50 cents each. So that was a pretty good pickup. I think I could get at least 50 cents for them, right? Don't you think? So Brent says, hello, Sam, the man, and everyone else. Good to see you on here, Brent. Hope you're doing well tonight. Well, I'm going to go ahead and get into my store performance and kind of show you where I'm at on my eBay store. So Brent says, that hat needs shoe-lot. Let's see. Needs show-lotta to clean it. Look it up. Which hat is that? Show-lotta. Who is show-lotta? Okay, so this is my eBay store. And so this is looking at the last 31 days of eBay sales. I've done quite a bit better in the last 31 days than I have done in the previous 31 days. I think I was somewhere close to $5,000 in the previous 31 days, but in this last 31 days, my sales are at $8,015.64. So I'm about 3,000 ahead of my goal. So that's pretty good for a part-time job. Not bad, huh? So taxes and fees are $486.65. My selling costs are $2,397.49. And so my total net sales, that's what I got to take home, was $5,131.50 for the last 31 days. Pretty good. Not too bad. Had to have the stain on the inside of the bill, SEC one. Okay. The SEC hat. Okay. It looks like you're doing pretty good work. Congratulations, my friend. Thank you, CG. So I've sold 112 items, and I'm staying pretty consistent with my average sales price is around $71.57. No sales through auctions. Every sale for the last 31 days was through a fixed price. So let's take a look at the last or this quarter. See how we're doing this quarter. Actually, I probably want to look at, that's this quarter. So that's from October 1st to December 15th is $15,462.08 with $944 in taxes. $4,606.24 in selling costs. And what I got to take home was $9,911.81. So that's nearly $10,000 since October 1st. So that's pretty good. I'm real happy with that. Quantity sold was 204. Average sales price was $75.79. No sales via auction. All sales were through fixed price. So let's go back to the 31 day. Oh, let's go back further and look at how much I've done this year. So I have reached a record so far for the year at $53,452.95 for the year so far. So I've gone over $50,000 in sales, and I think if my next 2 weeks look as good as my last 2 weeks, I should at least have $55,000 in sales for the year. So the total taxes was $3,306. Selling cost was $16,893.38. Whoever came up with eBay was a smart person, because if I'm an average seller or even a lower than average seller and they got $16,893 out of me so far this year, just think how many thousands and thousands of people are selling on eBay. Those people are making a lot of money. So my net sales, that's the amount of money that I got to take home this year, is $33,252.92. Quantity sold was 753 items, almost 1,000 items so far this year. And the average sales price is staying pretty consistent around $71 a month. $71 per item. And I did have $232.79 in auction, and the rest was through fixed price. So you see, I don't do many auctions. And CG says, it looks like you're doing okay. And Gumball Gold says, now you can pay off the van. Yes, I can. Actually, I don't have enough money in the account right now to pay off the van. But, 2 or 3 months, if I keep bringing in that kind of money, I think I can pay off the van. So that's pretty good. I'm very happy with that performance so far this year. So video games and consoles is at $16,091.86. That's video games and consoles. That's just mainly consoles. Actually, that is just consoles where I do the bundles. The video games themselves is at $1,902.32, which is down from last year by 46%, but the other sales are up 68%, so they more than compensate for that. Jewelry and watches, that's mainly just watches, wrist watches, high-end dollar wrist watches that I picked up, $1,572.74. Toys and hobbies, which would be action figures and accessories, $1,241.73. And then toys and hobbies, which would be cars, trucks, vans, and vintage manufacture, is at $994.05. So let's go back to the last 31 days. Okay. So yeah, the last 31 days has been much better than the previous 11 months. So very happy with that. So video games and consoles in the last 31 days is $3,011.73, which is up 50% from last year, same time. And the video games themselves is at $531.84, which is up to 22.9%. Collectibles is $391. That would be pens and writing instruments and typewriters, mainly typewriters, $391.15. And consumer electronics, TV, video, and home audio, $378.41. So you can see on a daily basis, the sales are kind of all over the place. My lowest sales, I think, may have been on this day right here, November 25th. I sold $19.31 worth of items. And then on December the 5th, I sold $838.72 in one day. So you can see it's kind of all over the place. I've had a couple $700, $650 and $700 days. But for the most part, it's pretty consistent around this area right here, about $250 to $350 per day. So as long as I hit that 5,000 for the month, I'm pretty happy with that, and I feel like I have met my goal for the month by doing that. So this is a really good side hustle for anybody who is into side hustles, and something just to do for to take up time, or if you actually need a little extra money, this is a very easy way to make money. And as I have said before, if you're interested in selling on eBay, anyone can do this. All you really need is a computer, access to the internet, and you need to have a little bit of knowledge of how to operate a computer. But if you're going to get serious about selling, there are a couple of other items that you'll want to get as well. And some of those items are, I would suggest that you get a thermal label printer. If you don't already have one and you're a seller, then I would suggest that you go ahead and take a little bit of your money, a little bit of your profits, and buy one. They're only like $30. They're not very expensive. I think the most expensive one that you can get is around $65. So they're very inexpensive and very easy to get. A lot of people get the Rolos off of Amazon, and some people get the other brands, but the Rolo seems to be the most the favorite currently for anyone. So before I get into my sales, I want to give you guys an opportunity to speak up and tell me how things are going with y'all. What's going on in your lives? Are you staying pretty busy? I know Gumball Gold is probably been very busy out putting gumballs in gumball machines. And Brent, I have been looking for another video. When are you going to put out another video? I look forward to hearing from you again. And hopefully Todd and Renee will be able to do a live stream tomorrow night. They usually have a live stream on Monday nights, and their live stream starts at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, and it's 8 o'clock Eastern Time, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So be sure and come back tomorrow night and join them on their live stream. If you're not going to be having a live stream tomorrow night, just let us know, Todd and Renee, and we'll look for you on the next one. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get into my what's sold items. Now, in the last couple of days, I haven't really sold any high dollar items, but I have been pretty consistent about selling the items. Let's see. Todd says they are doing a live show tomorrow night. And Gumball Gold says, do you take all your products to the post office or do you have them pick them up at home? That's a really good question. I do not have them pick them up at my house simply because I feel better about taking them to the post office and getting a receipt from the post office. It just, for my peace of mind, it makes me feel better. And I'd also, and kind of enjoy getting out of the office and taking that trip. Usually I've had a lot more recently through American Express. I don't know if you guys have experienced that for you who are sellers, but I have had a lot more recently that I have had to take to American Express because their shipping rates were much better than UPS or the United States Postal Service. So I've been taking a lot to the American Express. I still have been taking some to it's not American Express. Why am I saying American Express? Y'all help me out. Let's see. I don't have their truck up there. Anyway, American Express is a credit card. So it's not American Express. Y'all help me out. Not UPS either. Todd Jones, we're doing a live show tomorrow night. Marty says her mom is busy working a lot. Okay. Talking about sales and the drones. Okay, so y'all are going to be talking about your sales and drones. FedEx. Thank you, Todd. Thank you so much. I don't know why I was having a brain cramp, but yes, FedEx. So I have been using FedEx a lot recently for my sales. Now, I already mentioned to you that one of the things that you want to get if you're a reseller, if you're going to be serious about doing this, is a thermal label printer. But more important than a thermal label printer, I would say, would be a scale. And you can also get scales fairly inexpensive. You can get the smaller scales, but I will caution you against getting those smaller scales because when you have larger packages that sit on those smaller scales, then and you pay almost as much for the bigger scales as you do for the smaller scales. So it's worth it to spend a couple of extra dollars on those bigger scales and just get a bigger scale. Just do it. Not when I say get a bigger scale, you want to get a scale that has the reader part that is separate, that has a line going to it, so it's not under the scale. So you can put a large package on it, and you can see how much the package weighs without having to worry about it being covered up by the package. So that's the type of scale. That is the type of scale that I would suggest that you get. But if you're going to be selling on eBay, you can't just guesstimate how much it weighs, and you really don't want to take your item to the post office to buy your postage at the post office because you're going to pay a whole lot more if you take your item to the post office. All right, so I'm going to get into my sales. For these smaller items, I'm just going to kind of breeze through them. I'm not going to really open it up and go into detail with it. But today I have sold 2 things so far, which is not a lot for a Sunday. Usually I sell a little bit more on a Sunday. But this portfolio tablet for a keyboard case, this is for an iPad Pro, sold for $17.99. And I sold one of those Nintendo DS video games. It's Nintendogs. This is one of the items that I picked up when I was with on the Zag Folio tablet. I paid about $1 for that at a yard sale. It was new in a package when I got it, so $1 into $17.99 is not too bad. But these Nintendo games, I got a box, and I was at Jake's Flea Market when I got this. So so Todd and Renee are familiar with this purchase, but there were about 70 actual games in this box that I bought from this one particular vendor at Jake's Flea Market. And this is one of the games that was in there. It sold for $19.80. And I bought the whole box, I think, for like $150. But I've already sold 3 Nintendo DS game consoles that were in the box and have already made back more than $150 so far with that. So anything that I make after that is just gravy. I sold this a flashback Atari portable handheld console. I bought this when I went to visit my aunt in Kissimmee, Florida. There's a video about that. I don't think I put, when I picked this up, I don't think I put that on the video. But this, I'll go ahead and open this one up. This one sold for $49.49. So $49.49 is what this one sold for, and it's actually a really neat console. I paid $10 for this at a thrift store in the Kissimmee, Florida area, but let me show you what this thing actually does. So I want you to see this video I made. The little console part has a screen on it where you could actually play the game on a screen, but you can also wire it directly into your TV. You can, the TV was really, really neat. This is my demo. There's a lot of games on here, mostly Atari games. I think they're all Atari games, actually. Well, that's pretty nostalgic, isn't it? So that sold for $49.49, and like I said, I have about $10 into it. So that was a pretty good pickup. Also got this Florida Flavors for Natives cookbook. If you guys are out looking around and you see some cookbooks, especially if it's a specialty cookbook for a particular area of the country, and it's an older cookbook. This one came out in 1984. I picked these up all at sale. There was a whole box of them, and I think I got maybe $5 into the whole box, so probably less than about a quarter into this book here. But it sold for $31.49. So if you run across any of these cookbooks, be sure and pick them up. They're pretty good. The next item that I sold was yesterday, was this Mario Kart Wii with manual. And this is just a video game, a Wii video game. Some of the video games I sell individually. Most of them I bundle up with my consoles, but to help my consoles sell. But if it's a good game like this, Mario Kart, I will sell it individually. Now, I did sell one recently, one of these games, and I put one of these wheels with it. So, hey, William, good to see you on here. Hope you're doing well tonight. So I recently have sold one of these games with a wheel on it, but if you're familiar with Mario Kart, there's a wheel that you can use to play with it. But that sold for $35.99. I bought that at a yard sale, and I think I have about $1.50, maybe $2 into it. I sold this World of Warcraft. This is a PC game from 2004, and it has the discs codes on the discs. So I blotted out the codes so that they couldn't just have the code without buying it. But these are the 5 discs World of Warcraft. I don't know if any of you used to play World of Warcraft, but it's not something that really took off. I think it had a following and maybe still has a following, but I've never, put much time or energy into it. I sold this RCA portable DVD player for $28.08. I picked this up at a yard sale for $2. And so it sold for $28.80, which was a pretty good deal on this. Sold this Tap Out Extreme. This is kind of like the P90X. This is one of these training DVD sets, 12 DVDs. And I think I got $1 into it, and it sold for $17.99. So let me show you that, because I was talking about it and was still on the previous screen, but this is the Tap Out. All right, the next item that I sold was this Nintendo Wii console bundle, and it sold for $67.50 in that case. And you always know that on my bundles, I always pair those up with video games and the controllers, and this one also comes with a motion sensor bar and the AV cable and the power cable, so all that goes with that. This is that Wii was one of my previous purchases. I got that at the thrift store. It didn't come with the games when I picked it up, but it did have the cords and everything. So I picked this Wii up at a thrift store for like $10. Now the next item that sold was a vintage Silver Rail Express engine. This is a my brother Brad had a bunch of stuff that he was going to throw away, and this train was in that bunch of stuff that he had. There was a couple of cars as well. The box had been long discarded, but this train engine sold for $16.20. So I didn't have any money into this, and it was sold. I sold it for parts or repair because I really had no way of testing it. But I would assume that this engine probably does work. But whoever got it will probably be very happy with that, because I'm pretty sure it works. The next item I sold was a 8mm projector. And I don't sell too many of these. Usually when I get these in the store, they sit around and don't sell. So I wouldn't suggest that if you're out thrifting and you're looking at items to buy, I wouldn't suggest buying projectors, because they're just not the best as far as selling. And then when you have to ship them, they're very bulky and a real pain in the neck to box. So if you guys can feel my pain whenever you have to box something large like this, it is not easy to get it all packed up and put in the box. But this projector did sell for $61.19. It has been in my store for about 2 years, and I think when I bought it, I probably paid about $20 for it, if I'm not mistaken. But it's been in my store for quite some time. This is one of the smaller projectors that I had, but I did when I took the pictures, I did show that the light was working inside of it. As far as the rest of it goes, I was able to test it out, and so that I know the inside parts work as well. So, $61.19. Not a whole lot, but not bad either. And I also sold a VHS player. This is a Toshiba DVD VCR combo. These DVD VCR combos, they're hit and miss. I used to buy a lot of them, and they used to sell a lot better. But recently, I've been buying these, and they just haven't really done that well. They tend to sit around for a while. So if I get one, I'm not going to pay more than $5 for it. This one came from a yard sale, and I think I paid $5 for it, and it sold for $31.50, which is really not worth my time and money. So I don't pick these up anymore if I can at all help it. But of course, I'm going to sell the ones that I've already got. I sold a plush. This is I picked up 4 of these. There were 2 of these and 2 of the Confederate general who was Jeff Davis. There were 2 Jeff Davis plushes and then 2 of these Ulysses Grant plushes. And I bought all of them for $5. So there's 4 of them total. And I sold this one for $19.80. The rest of them sold for about $25 to $35, and that was because they had still had tags. But this particular one no longer had the tags on it, so I had to lower the price a little bit in order to get it to sell. And usually when you sell something that you just don't sell a whole lot of, then they sell in pairs. This VCR sold. So this is a VCR, just the VCR only, and it's a 4-head stereo. It worked. It did not have a remote control, and it sold for $31.50. So I think I had $2 into that one. And Todd says a profit is a profit, and $5 and $10 bills add up. That is true. A profit is a profit, but if you can maximize your profit, I would encourage you to start looking for higher end items that are going to be able to bring you more profit. And so you can sell fewer items and get more money. And so you're not packing as many items. For example, this Sony PlayStation 3 bundle, usually I don't put this many games. So I know this is an older bundle that I listed over a year ago. So there's 5 games with this bundle. So they got a pretty good deal. And it came with a controller and the AV, not the AV cable, but the HDMI and the power. And so it sold for $126. And so I love to sell the higher end items as much as I can, because the more profit I can get for the number of items that I'm selling, to me that's better, because I'm able to sell less and make more, if that makes any sense. The next item that I sold was this Minolta film camera. It's a 35 millimeter wide angle. It had extra lenses with it, and this is a vintage 35 millimeter film camera. So if you see these film cameras out and you can get them for a decent price, then I would suggest that you pick them up. This particular one came from the estate of a friend of my wife's who passed away, and that was one of the items that was given to my wife to keep. And so she gave it to me and asked me to sell it. I ended up giving her the money off of it because she had some unexpected expenses with one of her rental houses, where she had to get the water repaired in the bathroom. There was an issue with the water pipe, so that came in real handy for her. So I was able to give her the money for that sale, because I didn't have anything into it. The only thing that I had into it was the time that I spent listing it. So that helped her out. I'm still selling a few of these CDs. So this Malcolm in the Middle CD sold, and it's just a music CD, and I got a whole box of these CDs, and they just sat around for a long time, and they were in like a plastic case. So I just decided one day I was going to order some jewel cases, and because all of them had the artwork with them, and so they were just like in these slip cover cases. Actually, is what they were in. And so I just started. I bought the jewel cases and put them all in them, and started getting them listed. So now they are finally selling. They sat around in my store for ages, and I don't encourage anyone to let stuff just sit around forever. So the next item that I sold was this vintage 1966 Remington 1040 portable typewriter, and it's a turquoise color. Typewriters have been doing pretty good for me lately. I have sold 3 typewriters in the last 60 days. So I don't know if there's a run on typewriters right now, or what it is, but people really seem to be looking to buy these vintage typewriters that are in working condition. This one says it sold for $121.50, but I actually took an offer on it, and I took an offer for $115, but I had about $30 into it. I bought it at a yard sale, and this one had the manual with it, and it was also in a case. And it sold, it took a long time to sell. I wouldn't suggest buying typewriters either. I don't know. And I always take a thing showing that it's working, and so that helps with selling it. But this one has just sat around for a long time and did not sell. But I have sold, like I said, 3 in the last 90 days or 60 days. So I don't know. Maybe people are just looking for these vintage typewriters to give as Christmas gifts. Maybe they make good Christmas gifts. Jim from Gumball Gold says, tell her I like her drums. I'm a drummer too, from back in the day. Oh, you must have seen the video where I showed her drum set in one of the houses that I'm working on. Yeah, she is a drummer, and she actually plays drums for her church as well. So I also sold another Super Nintendo bundle. So I was really happy to sell this. The Super Nintendos are great. But if you don't get them working and you don't know how to work on them, then I wouldn't suggest that you get them. But I buy them and I refurbish them, I clean them up, and I get them working, and I match them up with a game and list them. This one, I bought a stack of these from a guy here locally, and I paid about $20 each for these consoles. And so I took in some cases, I took the good outside part of the case and matched it up with a good inside part, and just kind of built a console out of that so that I would have some that are working. But I usually do very well with the Super Nintendos if they're in decent condition. This one didn't have any breaks, or a lot of times they'll break in the corners or they'll turn really yellow. And so these, as well as the Nintendo Entertainment System bundles, really sell very well. This one did not have an original controller, but it still got a pretty good price. $139.50 is what it sold for. At this Christmas party, if you've watched my videos here recently, I posted a video from when we went to Destin, Florida. And when I was down there, and I should have recorded this, I don't know why I didn't. I just didn't. But we also went thrifting when I was down there. But this item actually was part of the White Elephant Christmas. One of my wife's cousins got this as a gift in the White Elephant. It was a Donald Trump chia pet. And she really didn't, I don't think she really wanted it. But I told her, I said, I'll give you some money for it. And she started asking for 10, and I wanted to help her out. So I gave her 20 for it. So I've got a little bit more into this than I would normally if I bought it at a thrift store, but I paid $20 for it, and it sold for $36 within 24 hours listing it. So I guess all things Donald Trump are very popular right now. Here is another item that is a PlayStation bundle, PlayStation 2 bundle with 3 games. This is one of the PlayStations that I purchased off of eBay for parts of repair, and I went in and cleaned up the lens and made it work again. And sometimes I fix the power. If it has no power, I'll fix the power. But I matched it up with a 3 games and a controller, and it sold for $121.50. I've got about $20, $25 into the console, counting shipping. This next item is a power supply for a computer. I bought this tower computer off of a friend of mine about 10 months ago. And I just took the tower completely apart because the tower wasn't really working, and I wasn't familiar enough with towers and building computers to get it going. So I didn't do anything with it. I just took all the parts off of it and parsed them out and sold them separately. And this is the power supply that was in it, and it sold for $40.50. I only paid $20 for the tower itself, and I've already made several $100s off of the parts and the tower that have already sold. So that sold, and I was real happy to get $40.50 out of that. Now, this is something that Todd and Renee may be familiar with. So Todd and Renee, take a close look at this. You guys were with me when I bought this. I bought this at a one of the thrift stores we went to. Maybe you guys could put the name of that thrift store in the comments. But this is a Budweiser light advertisement that I saw in the thrift store, and I just thought it was really neat. And so I decided to pick it up, and I paid $45 for it. So I feel like I lost money on this one. When I went to look it up, which I should have done in the store, if any good reseller will look an item up. So I'm very lucky to have got back at least what I paid for it, because this item is actually not supposed to be like a night light. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to have a plastic cover on the front here, and it's supposed to have a rider on the wagon. And it's supposed to have a clock, a digital clock here where this red thing is. So somebody has converted this into a nightlight kind of thing. But it sold for $45. So I'm taking a big L on that one, a big L on that one. So I lost money on that particular purchase. But I was going with my instincts instead of doing the smart thing and looking it up before I purchased it. But what I will say is, in looking it up, I found one that was in the original condition, and I actually purchased that one for $25 off of eBay. Let me do something here real quick. I'm going to go to that one and show you what it should have looked like on my purchase history. So I actually like the other one that I purchased off of eBay, and so I ended up keeping that one and selling the one that I bought when I was at the thrift store with Todd and Renee. So here is the one that I bought. Let me get it on here. All right, this is what that should have looked like. And the light on this one does work. But on this one, you can see the man has fallen off of the horse, and he is actually right there. He's laying there on the horse. So he fell off the horse. So what I did was I kind of pried back this plastic cover right here, and I got a pair of tweezers and got in there and grabbed the man and put some super glue on his bottom and put him back here on the trailer so that he could ride again. But this one I thought was really neat looking. This is what it should have looked like, Todd and Renee. And see, there's the clock. So this is what that light should have looked like. They had it listed for $40 and I made an offer for $25 and I bought it off of them for $25. So I think I could probably list that and I could probably get $75 for it in the condition that it is currently in. But I like it, so I think I'm going to keep it. So let me get back to where I was. But I guess, it all worked out in the end, and I was able to get at least get my money back for the one that I bought at the thrift store. But I have learned a valuable lesson that you all can learn vicariously through me, and that is if you're going to be buying stuff in a thrift store, be sure and look it up. Don't just buy to buy. Because you like it doesn't mean it's worth money. But this Fitbit here was worth a lot of money. I picked it up at a yard sale. It was brand new in the box. And I didn't think it was very valuable until I got it home. I paid $5 for it. And then when I looked it up, it was, brand new. They're selling for about $195, $100, and $200. And so I listed mine for $165 and it sold with 10% off at $148.50. So that was a pretty good flip right there. And I sold another one of those DS games that I picked up in that box at Jake's flea market. This is a Nintendo DS Bolt game, Walt Disney's Bolt game, and it sold for $10.35. A lot of those games that I got in that box are low value games, but it's like Todd says, a dollar is a dollar, right? If I can make $5 on it, then it was worth my 70. There was 70 games in that group, and so I've got way less than $5 into each game. I paid $150 for all of it, and I've already made that money back and then some. So it's all profit at this point on that. I sold this Super Mario Brothers Wii video game. I also had this manual already, and it's for this same game, and it's a strategy guide. So I matched them up as a pair and sold them together for $36. This one sat around for a little while. It didn't sell right away, but it did sell. So this is one of those games. Anything Mario Brothers usually does pretty good. So I suggest that if you're going to pick up any video games for resale, then look at Mario Brother. Any Mario Brothers, they're usually pretty good. But also be sure and look them up. Don't do like I did. I sold this Panasonic cordless phone with 3 handsets. It was sealed in the box, never has been opened. I picked this up at a yard sale for $5, and it sold for $67.95. So a lot of people are looking for these vintage, or I guess they are vintage now, these cordless home phones, because you can't really find them new anymore. And if anybody knows where you can find them, let me know, because I don't know where you can actually find these new anymore. I think you have to pretty much buy them either secondhand or off of eBay. This was a surprise. This dress right here, a Mrs. Beasley doll. Remember the Mrs. Beasley dolls? This was in a box that I bought at a yard sale. I paid $3 for the whole box, and there was several vintage GI Joes that were all broken apart that I've already sold. And then this was also in the box. There's also some vintage doll furniture. I didn't even know what any of this stuff was until I just decided I was going to go through it one day and look it up. But this dress, I had no idea what it was until I started looking it up. But it's one of those vintage Mrs. Beasley doll dresses. And so I guess somebody who has a Mrs. Beasley doll whose dress is maybe stained or in pretty bad shape would love to get this. But it sold for $28.80, which I thought it was a pretty good deal. I sold this hand puppet. It's 1970s Sesame Street. This one was actually labeled on the back of the head. Let me see if I can get to that label. Yeah, it was labeled on the back of the head, Muppets. So this was a Muppet from Jim Henson, and it was a plastic hand puppet. So it sold for $28.80. I paid $2 for this at a thrift store here in the local area. And another video game, Fallout 4. This is one of those good video games for PS4. This one was not new. It was a pre-owned video game. Maybe it was new. Yes, it was new. That correction, it was new. And that's why it sold for $36. But this is a Fallout 4. If you have any video games, if you run across a collection of video games, it's worth your while if you can get the whole stack of them for like $1 or $2 a piece just to pick them up. You're going to make that and more off of them without any issues. I'm sure of it. This is one of those CDs that I put in the jewel cases. It sold for $10.35. It's a Vans Warped Tour compilation. It had 2 CDs, and so that one sold for $10.35. So I've got pennies into it. So, but I have more money in the CD cases than I do on the CDs themselves. I sold this vintage Ryzen talking AM/FM clock radio for $22.49. Y'all know me, I like to sell clock radios, and they sell pretty consistently. These don't go for quite as much as the old wood grain looking ones, but people are still buying these. So don't overlook these. If you can get them for a couple of dollars, I think I got $2 into this one that I bought at a thrift store. So if you can get these for $2, then I certainly suggest that you give it a try. And here is a DS Lite that I bought from my son, Justin, when I was in Chicago not too long ago. He told me he had a game, and I tested it out and made a video about it. And the console was in very good condition. He had the power supply and the stylus with it. So he sold this to me for $30, and I sold it for $76.50. So that was a pretty good purchase there. So I was able to double my money, I think. Yeah, looks like it. So I think I've gone long enough with the sales. So how are you guys sales going recently? How have you been doing in your eBay sales? And for those of you who don't sell, what would you like to talk about? Like Brent and CG and Jim with Gumball Gold. Is there anything that you guys would like to talk about tonight? I'll give you a second to leave a comment if you want. And Todd says, Renee sent me a message about a lady selling video games. When was that? I don't remember getting a message. Was that this weekend? I'm looking at my phone now. I don't see. I don't see any. Let's see. Nope, I don't see anything from Renee. Was it one that she sent to both you and me, or is it one that she just sent to me? Here we go. Oh, okay, yeah, I did get that. Saturday, December 7th. So that was last weekend. $99 for the lot. Huh. I wonder why I never responded to that. I'm sorry I didn't respond to that. But I do appreciate you thinking about me. Looks like she had a lot of games. PlayStation 2 games and Wii games. Wii Sports is always a good game. $65 is too much to pay for Wii Sports though. You can only get like $35 to $45 for Wii Sports on eBay. So so what have you guys been doing lately? Jim says he's still selling his old 25-cent mechs on eBay. All his machines now accept 2 quarters. If you are not yet subscribed to Gumball Gold and you like to watch good content, then I suggest that you go to Jim's channel, Gumball Gold, and you can see what he's doing with his gumball machines. I think it's really a great side hustle that he has where he's taking these gumball machines and placing them around Oxford, Mississippi is where he lives, and making some pretty good change. And when I say change, I literally mean change, but he's doing pretty good with it. So really happy for you, Jim, on that. Renee says the lady said it's still available. Boxing, working on 8 orders tonight. Wow. So you're getting all your orders ready to go out for tomorrow morning. I probably will come here in the office in the morning and take care of my orders. I just sold something while we were on this live stream. Let's see. I sold something from NASCAR. This is something that I've had for a long time. It's a DuPont, and you can't really tell too much from the camera. But it's in the box, and it's an 18-wheeler, and it is a Jeff Gordon number 24 die-cast 18-wheeler travel with a trailer. And Jim from Gumball Gold says he collected $110 today from one machine. Wow. That is great. You guys hold on just one second. I want to show you one other item that I picked up. Stand by. Okay, I picked this up at another one of these pop-up thrift store type. They said it was a yard sale, but it was like a building where the guy obviously sells on a regular basis. But I thought this was pretty cool. This is a vintage jacket, and it needs washing. You can see it's dirty, so I need to stick it in the washing machine. But this jacket is a medium. It's got a tag for Chase Authentics on it, but it's DuPont. When I was looking at that truck, that made me think of this. It's DuPont racing, and it is a Jeff Gordon jacket. So you see it's dirty. It needs cleaning. But it's a Jeff Gordon number 24 jacket. So I'm going to clean that up. And this is, these letters are sewn on. It's not just a sewn on letter, it's embroidered on. And the number 24, that's also embroidered, and the DuPont. So I thought that was a pretty good pickup. I paid $20 for this. I think once I get it cleaned up and listed, I think I can probably list it for over $100. But I'm going to have to see if there are any currently listed, or if there are any that have sold recently. So Todd says that Renee is digging over the death pile. You know that area, Sam? Yes, I do. My whole house here is a death pile. The orange room, yes. So has she found anything recently that she's listed and made a lot of profit off of that she didn't have listed before? Sometimes you just got to go through those death piles and find good stuff to list. Also, there was one other thing I'm going to show you that I picked up. Hello, how are you doing? I think this doll's name is Samantha, but I am about to fall over, and I have not been drinking tonight, I promise. So this is an American Girl, original American Girl doll. You can't see it, but it's stamped American Girl on the back of her neck. So this is a real American Girl doll. These dolls, if you can find them in decent condition, they go for about $55 to $65. These original American Girl dolls go for pretty good money. Now, this one will probably not get that much. I paid $7. I paid $7 for it. Still got the sticker on it. The reason this one will not get that much is because someone at some point decided to take the tag off the American Girl tag. So someone has removed the American Girl tag. But other than that, it's in very good condition. And so I may not be able to get top dollar for it, but I think I can still get, anywhere about, $25 to $35 for this. Only having $7 in it, that's a pretty good margin for profit. So, Todd, Renee, what have you guys been selling? I need to talk to you guys on the phone sometime soon. If y'all got a moment, give me a call after this live stream, and I'd like to catch up with you guys. I haven't had a chance to talk to you. I know you tried to call me last Saturday. I was out of town in Destin, Florida, at my wife's family's get together for Christmas. But I'd like to speak with you guys and catch up with you. So I don't know who all is still on, but I have gone over my hour that I usually am on. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Gumball Gold, CG Anime Fan, Brent Mania, Marty Baker, William Smith, which is my brother, and Todd and Renee Jones with Rat's Stash. By the way, they said that they will be doing their live stream tomorrow night, so be sure and join them at 7 o'clock Central Standard Time or 8 o'clock Eastern Time. So I am going to go ahead and say goodnight. I hope that you guys have a good have plans for Christmas, that you're going to do some good things for Christmas and be able to spend some time with your family and make memories and share gifts and love and good times. So I will say goodbye to you. Hope you guys have a great week, and I will try to do another live stream next Sunday. I did not do my live stream last Sunday because, like I said, we had just got back into town from Destin, and I was really tired, and so I just wasn't able to do a live stream last Sunday. But I normally try to do my live streams on Sundays at 7:30 Central Standard Time, which is 8:30 Eastern Time, every Sunday. So be sure and join me next Sunday, and we will chat some more. Hope y'all have a great week. Love you guys, and take care. Bye-bye.